Secretary of War Pete Hestag, thank you for bringing the standards back in our military services.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's already being asked. The new changes to the wearing parents. All right, and let me say this: these aren't really new changes. If you were in 10 years ago, if you've been in 10 plus years, this is how it was. Actually, it's got versions, better versions of what it was when you first joined. Like I'm just saying, if you've been in long enough, we just, hey, this is how we were brought through the military, through what they've put out, through what they've changed. That's how it was when we came in. So it ain't new for us. But I'm going to tell you guys this. For the newer generation that's coming in, I get it. I understand why you're upset. I get why you're complaining. Like, I get it. But I'm also going to say this. You got to get over it. You got to get over it. Because you chose this life. And you continue to choose it. You continue to re-enlist every year. So it's like, logically, I'm thinking, hey, you decided to do this. So why is it so hard for you to follow the standards and regulations? The policies. It shouldn't be, because you knew joining the Army that there was structure. You knew what the hell you were getting into. And I say this so much because the newer generation acts like they didn't know. It's always going to be, I'm always going to be flabbergasted. But I will tell you this, as a drill sergeant, as an NCOIM, I will follow all rules and regulations. So any soldier, any trainee I come in contact with, they will do the same. And that's it. And that's it, that's all. And that's period. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else to put that to people on here complaining. At this point, you probably just got to get out, man. And I don't mean no disrespect to that. You probably just got to get out. That's all I'm going to say.
But every day, this guy is undoing something in this country that we value. Every day. It's every day is a shock and awe here. And I for one, am skeptical that we will survive this.
I am not.
Yes, if you have been following this channel, you realize 2 days ago, I posted a similar video like this. A lot of Libras are complaining. They are getting angry. Like, why will the secretary say this? People should not be in shape to be in the military, according to them. I've watched a lot of videos. What this lady said on this video is perfectly okay. Before signing up, you knew that this place has rules and you have to follow those rules. It is not just anywhere that you have to just go, you do anyhow. Before, it was not like that. A lot of people still appreciated the secretary for taking up this decision with Libras. They took it to another level, like it is a controversial issue. I don't understand why it is important. We dive into it. Even Joe Rogan put out a comment on this. I don't know if you've seen this.
Wouldn't it be easier just to shave and put on a patrol cap? I mean, I guess it could be easier to shave, but actually it's more easier not to shave because I don't have to do it. The same thing with the patrol cap.
Thank you for bringing the standards back in our military services. And I'm glad that you started from the top with the generals. It's very shameful for generals to walk around obese. They need to set the standard for their subordinates in the military. Now, what I want to speak about, all these soldiers on social media crying about they need to shave their beards. I have 11 combat tours on my belt. I've been in Muslim countries. And all the Muslims are clean shaving. Clean shave. And the only ones that have beards are the imams. Same for the Hindus. So this religious preference is bull. Number one, Secretary, protecting your life, because how are you going to seal your protective mask when you get hit with gas? Then you putting your other soldiers at risk because they got to go rescue your dumb because you failed to follow orders. Secretary, bringing back standards, and you need to follow those standards and look out for one another.
Not only people complaining about beards, there are women like, why will I remove nails? Why will I remove eyelashes? Things like that. It is concerning. There is one thing I see on social media, allowing these people to be putting out TikTok videos with uniforms. Sometimes to me is extremely disturbing. Something needs to be done about this also for people who never saw this video, take a look at what Meghan Kelly had to say.
In the American Armed Forces, you should have to be in shape. There should be a bare minimum of fitness. And Pete is living. He's practicing what he preaches. Now, this came as very unfortunate news for the women of The View. You're shocked, I know, given the elite form that the women are in over on that set. But I think everyone was asking themselves, what does Joy Behar think? And I have the answer.
The newly renamed Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, spoke to U.S. military leaders from around the world to lay out his very retro vision for our armed forces. Why is he obsessed with fat?
Yeah, and fitness and...
Fat, yeah, and fitness. Add Sonny Hostins too.
I mean, what do you mean, why? We're talking about a military here. We're talking about a fighting force. Like, this is you're going to be intimidated by people that look like me. That's the problem. You don't want that in your military. You want someone who's going to step up and provide that image.
I could do it, according to this.
I won't necessarily speak to that, but I'm very lost on the fact that it seems like it's become a Republican Party position out of nowhere that the U.S. military is weak. We're the greatest fighting force in the history of mankind. U.S. troops are deployed in over 100 countries around the world. We are also a deterring force. The idea of American military strength is that you avoid having to get into wars by being as strong as we are. And I know that people think it's weak or it's woke to say that our diversity is our strength, but the thing that's so unique about the United States, we are the most diverse nation on earth, and we have the most diverse military on earth, socioeconomically, racially, religiously.
So what's this about?
All of these people from different backgrounds come together and fight for the American values. So I don't understand why we have to denigrate the military to try to talk about doing better. And I would also mention, we did have a recruiting crisis, but in 2024 and 2025, the military met recruitment goals, which is huge. Final thing, I did not like that Pete Hegseth, who did serve his country, but chose to denigrate the service of others.
As a bold and necessary reset for the military, finally cutting through the woke bureaucracy that is being strangled. Our war fighters, his then directive announced alongside President Trump rightly prioritize combat readiness, discipline, and a no-nonsense approach to national security over politically correct nonsense like DEI offices and distractions by renaming the Department of Defense, the Department of War, and demanding loyalty to a mission first equals. Head is restoring the military core purpose to intimidate, hunt, and defeat enemies, not to cut the identity politics, while liberals clutch their pearls over the blunt reality. This is exactly the kind of leadership needed to rebuild a strong, unified force ready to confront real enemies, right?
I'm actually really befuddled by why he did that. The optics were terrible, meaning all of our top military brass are all in one place, and we spent $6 million to get them there. That didn't make a lot of sense to me. It also didn't make a lot of sense to me that he was saying that he was going to toughen physical standards and review the anti-hazing policy by sort of implementing a hazing policy. And then also he said he was going to return to the highest male standard for combat positions because the troops were fat. I don't understand how that was supposed to be an uplifting message for our military.
Maybe he's referring to Colonel Sanders.
It was really a bizarre thing. He started talking about woke DEI policies. By the way, there are no gender quotas in the military. By the way, he fired more than a dozen military leaders, many of them people of color and women. He fired the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, General Charles Brown Jr., who is African-American. Yeah. He fired the first woman to command the Navy, Admiral Alyssa Franchetti. I don't understand the sort of hypocrisy of firing these people, having all these people meet together and then denigrating them.
Yes, I don't know why these people will always find fault in anything linking to Trump. I understand that they will always do that. Now taking a look at the whole thing, while liberals are criticizing this, like, oh, This meeting was just called on to fat shame these people. To me, I don't see that as a problem. Calling people to action, like you need to be ready at any time, you need to be in shape, that is not something controversial. These are things we usually say indoors. You need just one person to call it out. And when you do that, they will start calling you name. And this is exactly what we are witnessing now. The view grumbling, putting out ridiculous segments like this about this whole thing, I don't understand. But TDS is real. So when I see people talking like this, I have no issue because that has always been how it is.
Vice President Maybelline fairy tale even a 5-year-old wouldn't believe.
Celebrities are rallying to his cause, saying this is a First Amendment assault being carried.
My ratings aren't very good. Last time I checked, your ratings were somewhere between a hair in your salad and chlamydia. This is the first interview that you've done since the unthinkable happened, and it was
right because I generally don't. I give interviews. I don't do that.
JD Vance should be the next president of the United States.
I want to appreciate you. Thank you for always supporting me, sharing out my videos. I'm going to end here. As of the short, please, you can skip.
Not happening at the moment.
Yeah. President Obama
is blatant censorship
because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
The FCC want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Americans, it's a part of who we are.
Because that is really something that didn't happen before.
Does anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's...
I'm going to say one.
Look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all abide by. But in case anyone needs a refresher, we're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people.
Well, there are repercussions to spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not all the same people that are in these polite...
I disagree with what Gavin Newsom said, that he doesn't